Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the matrix. Subscribe.
Hey y'all, come and take a look at this. I told you guys this summer is going to be different. Cause look at what they just rolled out in Florida, bro. Look at this. The biggest EMS vehicle that has ever been created just for Florida, bro. And it looks like they got another one back there. But look at this, y'all. They're unveiling it right now, y'all. But this thing over here can take about 25 patients. 25 people laying down. And then it can get people sitting down as well, too.
Say that again. This is the first time anybody in the public has seen the inside of this truck. It's brand spanking new.
I told you.
Just got it. This is used for mass casualty incidents, large-scale incidents where everybody involved, numerous patients being transported at one time.
Okay.
So this truck is actually designed to transport 21 littered patients at one time, or 25 seated patients at one time.
Wow.
With the capabilities of having 2 stretchers in the back as well. And we can also have a bariatric stretcher installed. If God forbid there's somebody that's like over 400, 500 pounds that cannot really fit in one of these or on a normal stretcher.
They can fit.
Actually a winch. There's a winch removable that it would winch right up that ramp.
Wow. Dang, first time anybody's ever seen this in public, y'all. Man, I say this is brand new. Look at this thing, huge, y'all. This is insane.
Y'all, that thing is huge. And he's talking about mass casualty events. What's getting ready to happen? Okay, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but where I'm at in Florida, I've been hearing sirens going off like crazy. I made my people on YouTube aware of this a couple years ago. I said, man, I noticed these sirens have been going crazy. And as of late, it's been blaring a lot more. And this right here makes sense. Y'all already know that Florida is known as the Sunshine State, and it's not even summer yet, bro. It feels like it's fall right now. When that summer kick up, y'all, this is crazy. This right here is that global warming special, bro. The shift is here. We are in the midst of it. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
This blueprint right here came from us. See that? The G is in the center. The 7th letter of the alphabet. The 7 is the number of perfected man. This ain't got nothing to do with Freemasonry. This is the science, the philosophies, the systems of the universe. This ain't nothing to be, oh, this is just that spooky stuff. That stuff we gotta run away from. This is exactly what you need to be looking into. And this is Moorish science.
You can't handle the truth.
This ain't come from no pale-skinned Caucasian. This came from our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Mother and son. That's Mason. Then you come right here. What do you see right there? Man. Man is master, able, and noble. That right there is on every hospital. That's the symbol of the catechist. That's the ascension of the Christ degree from the bottom of the spine to the top of the pineal gland. The wings that's on the side right there are the wings of Mayat. That's what that means. That's the symbol of the star child. Right there. That's also the symbol of the 4 lunar cycles. That's also a symbol of the 4 seasons, 4 directions. This is where you get the news from. But they demonize all of this stuff and have us out here thinking that this ain't reality. But everybody else been using our science for their reality. We've been told that this right here is just, y'all don't need to be studying that. What y'all studying that for? That ain't gonna help you do nothing. So if it ain't gonna help us do nothing, why y'all ain't never show us? That part. The acronym of you. What does that say? Your own universe. You yourself are a piece of the universe. You, because you're a starseed. So since you're a starseed, all this information about the Moorish arches, let me tell you something, fam. The Moorish arch is an ancient universal doorway to higher knowledge. So you gotta step through that arch. You gotta step through that doorway. This is why we ain't been taught Moorish science.
This is Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. He travels back to the past from his future, where he can influence and potentially change the outcome of his peers, his friends, his father, from all being unalived from these androids. He succeeds in going back in the past
and through his actions creates a completely and separate and distinct timeline that Goku and his friends are alive. Now, through this, there is also one who goes back in another timeline and goes back into the past and plugs into this one. And it is Cell. Cell goes into a timeline through unaliving Trunks, takes his time capsule, his time machine, goes back in the past and reverts himself to where he goes under the ground. When he emerges in a timeline with the androids still there. Dragon Ball Z is over 20 years old, older than me. And it's talking about things that honestly, as I mature and I start to explore, to see that they have been drawn and articulated in such a detailed way, it's like, where are you getting this information from? Time travel, timelines, 3 different ones, all intertwined, all distinct. Trunks will end up going back to his original timeline and defeating the androids. It's so mind-boggling that one has to go to say, how do you have this type of creativity? Or has this happened? Coincidence?
They're lying to you. Nothing is as it seems and everything is as it's perceived. Why in the fuck do we have drone mosquitoes? Let's go to that clip. So not only do we have robot mosquitoes, but we also have 6G and the things that they are planning to implement with the 6G and Stargate. Yeah, these are all right around the corners. They are hinting that this summer is going to be a fun time for us. This is not the fear monger, but the more you know. Let's go through the clip.
You're a cockroach. The horrifying videos that you've seen of people who suddenly die by planking, by just falling over in one piece. Typically, they either look around in perplexity because they're obviously hearing and experiencing something and they're looking for the source, or they don't do that, but they just suddenly die in one piece. It's the mother walking the baby in the baby stroller. It's the guy buying food at the fast food window. It's the person walking down the street. It's the Arab diplomat.
Stargate, put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure.
The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas, the Abilene location, which is our first location.
Abilene is a town on the western central plains of Texas. We kind of scratch and fight for everything good that comes our way.
I had people reaching out and they said, "Well, is the president going to come see you?" And I said, "Well, he hasn't texted me yet." So.
I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era.
Do y'all see how these sick motherfuckers talk about this? They're so excited. It's amazing. This is something that is a great opportunity to roll out in America. No coincidence there. And also this is around the time where they are currently implementing the Golden Dome project. I want y'all to start connecting the dots where they control who comes in and who goes out. They can send energy and frequencies that You get what I'm saying? And they can also have remote control mosquitoes to a jab.
23 passengers just left the ship. Guess what? The virus is already in America. Not only that, they are saying that this shit is more deadly than COVID. I don't know about you, but this feel like a show that I've seen on Netflix before, or maybe in 2020. I seen these people leave the ship, they was all wearing masks, and it was like flashbacks, flashbacks, flashbacks. Remember 2020? This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. There is no such thing as a pandemic, more like a plandemic. Everything is written out. Our reality is like a fucking movie, a script. Writers, producers, directors. We are the audience that feed into the bullshit. Yes, it's true. Stay with me. It go a little deeper. You know how they say everything is written in the stars? True story. 2026 is the year of the horse. Who been dominating the media? Megan. Megan is the stallion, the horse. So, in 2026, we had the hantavirus. In the year 2020, we had the COVID virus. If you know anything about Chinese zodiacs, you will understand that the rat and the horse are enemies. They represent opposing elements in nature. The rat represents the yin water sign. Let me repeat that. The rat represents the water sign. What's going on right now? They have a ship in water with rats. Lights, camera, action, go. It's nothing but a script. Our emotions make this shit real. Remember, these people don't speak how we speak. They are really smart. They understand if they use logos and symbols, 95% of the population don't understand this shit. That's how they make reality manifest, by us not knowing no better. 23 passengers. 2 times 3 is 6. COVID took place in 2020. 6 years later, we are now dealing with hantavirus in the year 2026, which is 6. So we have 6, 6, 6. 6 years ago, we had a deadly virus. 6 years later, we have another deadly virus. 23 passengers, 2 times 3 is 6. It's all about code, everything.
Finally understand that. See what I'm saying? This fingerprint right here, that's the shape of the galaxies. That's the shape of the galaxies, and they'll tell you that too. Or you can look it up your motherfucking self, nigga. Galaxy shapes all on your fingerprints, nigga. Galaxies, shapes of galaxies, nigga. That pattern that makes your fingerprint, galaxy. Galaxy. Designed the same way. That crown in your scalp, that connects your crown chakra to, that's in the trees. You know what I'm saying? DEA. Chloroplast. This is why when people take chlorophyll, they feel better. Or you hear people saying, hey, do chlorophyll. Get chlorophyll. Why? Why chlorophyll? Why chlorophyll? Because chlorophyll comes from chloroplast, and we are full of chloroplast. So is plants. And we all got that because we all got DEA. Plants got DEA. It should be being called chloroplast DNA. It should be called chloroplast DEA.
Hold on. You mean to tell me this whole time that this has been right in front of our faces? This is Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. And this is his final form. He is an alien, and he is malevolent, meaning he is completely evil. There is no good. His only intentions is to conquer and to destroy. He flies around in a humongous, technologically advanced flying saucer that houses his army, the Frieza army. He goes to Earth to try to conquer Earth because that is where Goku is. Now what's interesting is as you look at Frieza, take a look at him. He has strangely similar characteristics to what we would classify as a gray alien. Now, just with how we have discovered how things work, things blatantly put in our face. Dragon Ball Z being such an old show, yet showing things like time travel, capsules that burst into full-fledged homes and cars, afterlife, being wished back with Dragon Balls, a mystical dragon named Shinron, and demons, Majins, and then we have aliens with Frieza. Coincidence?
Americans, rise up! Rise up! Rise up against your scum politicians and your scum national media who demand obedience to Israel. America doesn't kneel.
It is time to come together and prepare for the revolution.
It's nothing new under the sun. So whatever's taking place right now, it happened before. This is the main reason why they don't want us talking to our ancestors, because our ancestors walked the same path we walked. Whatever they did, we're doing right now. And if we learn how to talk to them, we can see the future. Why? They did it before. They're sitting back watching us and watching us repeat the same mistakes they did. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. There's nothing wrong with following in someone's footsteps, especially if they're going to lead you to the right spiritual journey. Our ancestors speak with us, but we don't know how to speak back. Why? Because we are using language. They don't use language. So when we drop down to our knees and pray, no, you are doing it wrong. Frequency, vibrations, and frequency. We hear this shit all the time, but we don't know how to use it. You ever notice that most grandmoms, they sit in a rocking chair and they hum? Did you know that humming is the highest vibration you can do? When you talk, nothing really gets done. But when you hum, you can feel your whole body vibrating. Vibration and frequencies. If you want to speak with your ancestors, all you have to do is go sit in a river, a lake, an ocean, or shit. Just run some bath water, sit in that water and hum and watch the water vibrate all around you. They call it ripples in the water, but it's really the message in a glass bottle. It's nothing new under the sun. So if you are struggling right now, broke right now, sick right now, the only people that can help you is the people that walk the path before you. Your ancestors. It's nothing new under the sun, because we come from the sun. If you want to know more tips or details, just read the ebook. My link is in my bio.
And away we go. So you guys, this Dutch cruise ship has a virus outbreak, a virus called hantavirus. And as always, I have questions because I think I've seen this movie before. Here's the rundown. A few people have died from the hantavirus on this cruise ship, including a 70-year-old Dutch man who died on April 11th. Then his wife dies just a few days later in a South African airport when she collapsed, which even now they sent in a hazmat team to evacuate the ship, but I want everybody to be very aware of what's happening because there's some very eerie parallels. Now, what is the hantavirus, you ask? It is a collection of viruses carried by rodents through their feces that is deadly to humans. Now, listen up. This part is important. They also state that it causes a severe respiratory illness that has a fatality rate up to 50%. Respiratory illness, huh? You guys remember that one time where that respiratory illness was running rampant in 2020 and a very famous wife and husband caught it to kick everything off? It's just a coincidence, right? You mean to tell me another famous couple just last year was involved with the same virus, hantavirus, where Gene Hackman's wife died of the same virus? So the first guy who died on the ship with the hantavirus died on April 11th. That's the same date the Titanic set sail at the point of no return. Now, the World Health Organization is stepping up to respond to the hantavirus because the wife of the guy who died, she dies in a South African airport, but before she took a flight to Johannesburg with 82 other people. Wait, hold up. You mean the same World Health Organization that's mentioned in the Epstein files for preparing for a pandemic. States here to an email to Epstein saying, please find a draft agenda for the meeting on preparing for a pandemic as requested. Let's discuss next steps. For example, how to officially involve the WHO and the International Committee of the Red Cross. Best regards, I hope we can pull this off. What? Now, yes, they could be on one hand talking about COVID, but I always say COVID was a precursor to something bigger. Now the WHO urges all those passengers on that flight with the wife who died in South Africa on April 25th to contact them immediately concerning the hantavirus. And if that's not weird enough, back in 2024, Moderna and a Korean university co-developed a hantavirus vaccine. How convenient. States here that they had a full-scale collaboration with the vaccine center at the Korean University College of Medicine to develop an mRNA-based hantavirus vaccine. And it's all interesting timing for travel in general. Spirit Airlines went out of business. You have Delta canceling food and drink service, canceling thousands of flights. It's almost like they want us to just stay put. I did a bigger breakdown on YouTube, so make sure you guys go check that out and let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Okay, so do y'all not find it suspicious that just a few hours ago the feds came out saying that the UFO files have been delivered and are ready for release, and at the same time you have church leaders talking about supposed secret meetings happening with US Gov officials about warning their congregations regarding the release of said files because of the way that this will alter everyone's perception of religion. Furthermore, we have a whole movie coming out next month called Disclosure Day, and at the same time there were 17 or so earthquakes that just happened at Area 51. Like everything just happening, the programming, the timing, the receipts are absolutely wild. How do y'all think this is going to affect everybody? Do y'all feel like it's going to be like Epstein files? People are just going to brush it off and keep it moving? Or will this cause massive chaos? And furthermore, it is so hard to discern between AI, what's real, Project Blue Beam, The Matrix. I don't even know what's going on, but tap in the comments. Let me know where y'all are at with this. Let me know if you're keeping up with this information, because the fact that they, a couple of years ago, wouldn't even talk about the existence of aliens to going to talking about the fact that there were some type of UFOs and they started calling them UAPs, and now they're saying that we're releasing files, meaning y'all knew all along. Because if y'all ever go online and you look at declassified files, it'll be like, oh, we declassified this in 2019, but it happened in 1954. So how long have they known about these UFOs? And y'all know that one scientist, Amy Eskridge? Yeah, she's one of them that they said that she took her own life, but she was one of the 16 who was working on jet propulsion technology as well as anti-gravity. Well, she came out talking about ultra-terrestrials, which are called P-47s and P-52s, and these are supposed humans from the future, that there are no such things as aliens, that it's just us from 47 to 50,000 years in the future who have discovered teleportation, all types of science and technology, anti-gravity, time travel, and they're amidst us right now because they have the ability to go through different dimensions and parallel timelines. I don't know what's what, but let me know what y'all think about this, and let me know what effect do you think it's going to have when this information comes out and when there's this release. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Per usual, this is all alleged, can't confirm or deny any information, but if you like more interesting topics like this, grab your copy of 50 Forbidden Mysteries. Link is in the bio. Feel free to join the private group chat. Like, follow, stay for some more tea.
The deadly outbreak of hantavirus on the ship is getting a lot more weird after what has been recently discovered. Here you can see the infected passengers being extracted and sent to the Netherlands, but here's the real concern. One of the people who died from this virus, well, actually it was a couple. The husband died on the ship on April 11th, but the wife left the ship. She went on a plane on April 25th and she ended up dying the next day from the virus on April 26th. But now the World Health Organization is trying to track down the 98 people who flew on that plane with her, which was traveling from St. Helena to Johannesburg, South Africa. There's also a new case in Switzerland tied to the ship. He was showing symptoms in late April, and now he's in Switzerland being isolated and treated, but we'll get to that later. But isn't this all kind of weird to you? I mean, what do the passengers have to say about this? I would be freaking out. And the only video we have from inside the ship is the video I posted yesterday of the travel influencer who is completely freaking out, and then another influencer posting the exact opposite, saying everything is fine, but he won't be doing interviews about what's going on. He'll do interviews of his travel content, but that's it. Seems kind of odd for how crazy this situation
situation is. I mean, the hantavirus, the Andes strain, if you look it up, has a 40% mortality rate, and it can be transferred from human to human contact, not that easily, through sleeping in the same bed or eating the same food as someone. There's currently no cure for this, but don't worry, there might be a vaccine for this soon. I found an article from 2024. Korea University collabing with Moderna to make a hantavirus vaccine. This all just feels way too familiar. The ship is currently going to Spain now, to the Canary Islands, and if we get any more updates, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
How many people remember when Trump said he's going to release the UFO files? And we was all sitting around waiting. We thought they was going to show us some big-haired gray aliens coming out of the spaceship saying, "We come in peace." No. It don't work that way. Remember, they said the kingdom of heaven is where? Within. They never released the UFO files, but they release a virus. There is no aliens coming here. For all the people that's waiting for these aliens to come here, I have bad news. They're not coming because they live within us. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. Parasites. That's what we need to worry about. If a parasite get inside of our body, it can change the way we look, the way we feel, what we eat, everything. We have physical parasites and spiritual parasites. The spiritual ones, they came here and put physical parasites inside of our body. Why do you think they always advertising shit that make us sick? Fast food, liquor, soda, candy, drug. Every time you ride down the street and you look up, what's on the billboard? What's being advertised? Everything that make us sick. Because when we get sick, our vibration get lower and the spiritual parasites get us. And when we get sick within, the physical parasites get us. We are really fighting a spiritual war. These life forms attach to our chakras. That's why so many people are always trying to survive, because we are stuck where? In the root chakra. They feed off our emotions. Why do you think there are so many people arguing, debating on the internet? The internet is the biggest energy farm that exists right now. All you see is gossip, arguing, debates, and fear. I'm better than that person. I'm better than that person. Remember, our mind works like a radio station. Anytime you tune in to a channel long enough, that spirit starts to channel your physical body. How many people we see channeling spirits? How many channels do you scroll through on social media? The people that control this world, they are really parasites. They live inside their physical body. They have no control. None. So when people say, yeah, they are just puppets and they are being told what to do, yeah, by spiritual parasites. So if you sit back and say, Trump never released the UFO files, they did. It's the parasites. It's in our food, what we drink, what we look at. We live in a big ass energy farm. When they said the kingdom of heaven is within, that shit is for real. If you don't protect your kingdom, something can get inside of your body. A spiritual parasite.
In China, 20 scientists that are missing that are studying the same things.
Yo, what the f is going on,
bro? No, and all of these guys, a military AI expert, a chemist, data scientist, a space expert, a drone expert, hypersonics expert. This is all about space. It's the first one to figure this out. That's why they're trying to keep everyone. Oh. Because now it's a race. Because China wants to win the war. Remember what we were talking about? Yeah. If you get this tech, you win the war. Who's gonna want this? Korea. Oh my God. China. The US is also in this.
What? Yo, theory right now?
Yeah.
What if this is all for time travel?
Yeah.
Oh my God, because once you do that, then you can stop everything else.
Everything.
Or, oh my God, what if they already figured out time travel?
Yeah.
And they're taking out all the people that could stop it?
Wait, what if? Or they're trying to go to the future so then they could establish their land, their society.
That's true.
So then the people come in from this time.
Oh, and then take them there.
Yeah, it'll be ready for the future people when they get to that time.
Type shit. Yeah.
So I went back to this main cloning facility that I've been to before just to take a look at where is cloning at right now? Like, what are these shadow governments doing and what are their next steps as far as plans? I was surprised that when I went back there, it was basically full on overdrive. There was a lot of staff. There were a lot of extra clones. There were a lot of extra sort of machinery and equipment. It seemed like the facility was not only more active than I've ever seen it, but it was also more full than I've ever seen it as well. I mean, when you're in that moment, especially as a remote viewer, you kind of think to yourself, there's a lot of people who are working for this facility. How many of them could be potential whistleblowers? Like, I'm sure they're getting paid a lot of money, but, you know, you've got to have some of these people questioning what they're doing there and what they could potentially say publicly. But that's besides the point. It seems like right now the shadow government is very intent on replacing as many of its members as possible because it's simply easier to control them this way. And I saw a lot of things like, does a clone even know that it's a clone? And surprisingly, most of them have no idea. So there will be a celebrity or an A-lister and they'll go away to this fancy wellness retreat, or maybe it's rehab. That's what their family knows, and that's what they believe they're going to. Then, essentially, they are taken out in one way or another, and this replacement biological body that looks almost identical will sort of step in, and it takes them about 6 to 8 months to program this biological body to act and have the same mannerisms and to have the same sort of language, have the same interactions as the original. Now, I saw so much more going on in this remote view. If you want to know more about this and sort of what their next big plans are, check out Explosive Cloning Updates on YouTube and my website right now.
Would you believe me, in 1994, March 21st, they showed the truth through anime? Watch this video. At the end will be a list of all the anime, showing you our history.
Isabella's lease is void. You have no right to foreclose on Amorica. The Reconquista is global, Emperor.
By this sale of the kingdom, we shall bleach the memory of your empire and hide your ancient technology beneath the veil of our new history.
The sky opens. The kings of fire rule. Cities of glass and gold fall into ash.
Behold the power of the high priests of Anu turned against their own kind.
The Inquisition is already at the gates, and they are coming to bleach the memory of every Moor in Al-Maghreb. By the time they are through, your new world will be nothing but a necropolis.
We were of the same vine. We were family. How could you agree to the sale of the kingdom and let these Roman inquisitors bleach our very memory?
We have brought you out of the caves of the north to give you the gift of civilization. You shall serve as our janissaries.
The sale of the Moorish kingdom, I have traded your flesh for the ancient technology of the underworld. With these free energy orbs, we shall establish a new jurisdiction of the West and rule as God.
Behold the New York Island. Here, the giants of the Longhouse once walked, and our Delaware Moorish brethren.
The capture of Jerusalem in the west was but the first stone. Now we sail for Haiti to extinguish the last of the French wars and seize the ancient technology of the islands.
The time of the traditional Moor is at an end. By the sale of the kingdom, we shall bleach their names from the record and take the jurisdiction of the West.
Emperor Montezuma, the last Moorish king to hold the sun throne of the West. Florida was never a colony, but the Iberian Peninsula of the West.
We have brought you out of the caves of the north to give you the gift of civilization. You shall serve as our janissaries and Mamelukes, the secret protectors of our jurisdiction. For a limited season, our Asiatic empire shall recede, and these recessive Mamelukes and janissaries shall serve as our jailers.
We have traded your flesh for the ancient technology of the underworld. With these free energy orbs, we shall establish a new jurisdiction of the West and rule as God.
By this sale of the kingdom, we shall bleach the memory of your empire.
The Jesuit inquisitors and their Roman masters have come to bleach our memory and seize our ancient technology. But behold, the kingdom of the West has joined our banner. You return to the Armorican estates as a dog of the papacy. Your queen Isabella bought a lease from Hessingau, but she attempts a foreclosure she has no right to own.
They are destroying everything.
Do not weep, my love. There is a prophecy of noble Drew Ali. A son shall be born to resurrect the empire in the West and bring life back to the world.
With these free energy orbs, we shall forge a new jurisdiction of the West and rule as God.
We shall erase their names from the record and claim the jurisdiction of the West.
The shadows of a forgotten empire, the sky itself became the weapon. One king would ignite the heavens.
So here someone asks, where's the name of the cartoon, please? And he writes, the heroic legend of Arslan, R.G. Veda, Fugushi Yogui. Right here, screenshot. Yo.
We know it contains spider eggs, but the hantavirus, well...
This is General William Sullivan with an emergency message. I'm speaking to you from a CDC clean zone. Outbreak of the deadly Pandora virus is spreading rapidly. Unprecedented threat requires a worldwide quarantine. All ships must remain at sea until further. Humanity must endure.
Virus? What should we do? They're buying it. They're buying it. Chillingly plausible indeed, Joe Morgenstern of the Wall Street Journal. Now to make sure no one can call home to check, with a little help from the Make Your Own Sunday Bar. Squirt, squirt.
Our attempts to contact the mainland have met with nothing but static. It appears we have no choice. To avoid the virus, we must remain at sea indefinitely.
The world saw a royal family, but Diana saw a hive of traffickers and shapeshifters. From King Charles's documented bloodline link to Dracula, to the ritual sacrifice in the Parisian tunnels, the crown is the ultimate head of the global dark farm. This isn't a theory, look at the facts. King Charles III has publicly admitted that he is related to Vlad the Impaler, who is the real Dracula. He even owns property in Transylvania. The royal bloodline is obsessed with this lineage because they believe it carries an interdimensional frequency. They're not just old money, they're an ancient predatory bloodline. They've been harvesting our loosh and the blood of humanity for centuries. Their biggest trick was convincing you they didn't exist. So when you hear about people drinking blood, yes, real vampires exist today. Rumor has it they are actually reptilian shapeshifters that eat babies and drink blood. Furthermore, I think they find humans, clone them, and body swap them. That's a tale for another day. The king and the queen are not under the Illuminati. They are the sovereign state in the Committee of 300. This is the secret council that dictates global policy, war, and manages the dark and light farm logistics. Just like here at home, or where you're at, under the palace lives a whole network of tunnels designed to traffic the most vulnerable. They pay a blood price to keep themselves in power. But they don't just run nations, they manage the supply chain of the global sacrifice. Think about this, COVID was a ritual. They wanted you to wear a mask and alter your DNA willingly to show subservience. The manufactured crises we have today are real people dying. It's engineered chaos by the same people selling us the cages and the cures to their poison. To keep us safe from who? Them. Princess Diana was a breeder brought to refresh the bloodline, but she had Makari's soul. When she started uncovering the human trafficking networks and the non-human aspects of the royals, she became a threat. But the final straw was her relationship with Dadi Fayed. The royal family could not allow the mother of the future king of England to have a child with a prominent Muslim family. It would have shattered the clash of civilizations script that they've been pushing for centuries. This is where the Mossad and the MI6 converge. Her death at the Pont d'Alma, an ancient ritual site for the goddess Diana, was a coordinated hit. They used a flash to cause the collision. That's a tactic commonly used by the Mossad. Call it an accident, but it was a high-level psyop designed to silence the one woman who was about to expose the lizards in the palace. The royals want you to bow to the crown. To be a Kari is to realize that the only royal bloodline is the divine light in every single human being. They can track their lineage back to Dracula, but we can trace ours back to the source. My name is Derek, Static G. Follow me for more.
What the hell is that? Shh! Shut up! Are you kidding me? Hey, yo. No way.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. No way, dogs. What the hell is going on in Paterson, New Jersey, guys? Shh! Shut up! That looked like a garbage truck with meat in it. Now, I'm hoping that it's going to get thrown out in the garbage, right? People are saying that it's going to get delivered to the nearest supermarkets. Shut up! I hope not. It looks like a construction truck too, right? Shut up! Not only that, guys. Now we got to ask ourselves one thing. Is it ground beef or is it... Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes. I don't know what the hell was in that truck and I don't even want to know. Shut up! I'm telling you guys, it's getting real out there. What the Stop playing with me, son. It's getting real in these streets, guys. You know what it is. Shut up! But I tell you one thing. If I ever go to the supermarket and I go to pick up steak and I see the meat coming out the back of a garbage truck, where's the driver at?
essentially clone, right, your human body. They have to get your DNA somehow, but that's all usually written in like these Illuminati contracts, these shadow government contracts. We'll give you fame and fortune, and you give us your body, your likeness, your everything. So that also includes now moving into the AI sector. Like they've already signed over rights to their name and their likeness for fame and riches and fortune and power and control or whatever it is that they really wanted. Initially, it was sort of like, hey, you're giving us rights to your body. We're going to take over your body through a traditional possession. Now with technology advancement, we've got things like AI and cloning to completely take over someone's likeness and body and personality and everything. So they will basically grow a body, a clone body. And sometimes they grow a couple of clone bodies. Like it could be 2 or 3. It depends on the person's influence, essentially. And then they will transfer. Okay, this is where it gets weird. Essentially, I saw this like clone body in a chair in this facility, and they have these, it looks like these tubes, and inside the tubes are souls or consciousness. Oddly enough, those souls signed up to do that as well, which is weird to me, but it is what it is, I guess. And so then they take those canisters, is what it looks like, they put it into a machine, and they transfer the consciousness into the clone body. And then, this is like the longest, other than growing the body, it's programming the new consciousness and the physical body together to act and mimic and have the same mannerisms and the same actions and the same accents and the same even memories as that individual, which is fascinating. And one of the things is like, it does look like MK Ultra, like almost like a newer version of MK Ultra. Like it's almost like a VR experience, and they're sitting in this chair that looks like a dentist chair, and they're hooked up to these machines, and they are forced to watch. It could be videos, it could be whatever, the experience. And I'm sure that they have, even now thinking about it, you know, AI videos or whatever of that person. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but essentially they force sort of this programming, and then there's like little electroshock, kind of like electroshock therapy. And I'm not sure if this like sort of activates the neural pathways of their brain, and like almost like a torture mechanism to, once again, MK Ultra programming, to enmesh the identity of the person that's being taken over. What I've seen is this is about a 6 to 8 month process of programming them. So it takes quite a while. And they're growing the clone body, and I don't know how long it takes to grow a clone body. It could be maybe a couple of years, but they're growing that clone body for quite some time.